I am so pissed off. I am, and to be fair, I have been on Twitter. I have seen some spicy takes. And a lot of them are around the same, ilk of what you're going to hear here, but I am legitimately pissed off. I can't sit here as an NHL fan. I remember around like 1987 starting to cheer for the Calgary Flames as a young 7-year-old. Collecting sticker books and getting my first jersey and tucking my jersey in like Wayne Gretzky when he got traded to the LA Kings, and buying Easton stuff because of Wayne Gretzky. Because I thought if my hero was doing it, it would help me too. It didn't. The worst case scenario tonight, this isn't about tanking. This isn't about my team didn't have a shot at it. So it wasn't, oh, the team you did. This is about criminal activity happening within a franchise and looking the other way and being rewarded. Uno momento, por favor. This is about... Okay, so case in point. I've got a group of some of my high school buddies. I posted the league as a joke. Chicago should have faced sanctions or some punishment. 2 years later, generational player. Go Blue Devils, what's going on? For some reason, they've related this into NFL. The Dolphins lost their first draft pick for talking to Tom Brady. I think a contractual Tom Brady. This tweet right here. Arizona holds pre-draft workouts, loses first rounder. I'm not going to restore any of my pages. Thank you very much. New Jersey signs Ilya Kovalchuk to a contract that was legal at the time, loses first rounder. Tugi 24. Hi. I am pissed. And Endo, if you're here, I'm glad you retweeted this. 24 with 42, I love it. Ilya Kovalchuk signs a contract that was legal at the time, but the New Jersey Devils lose their first rounder. Chicago covers up sexual assault. Sexual assault to one of their own members of their team. And then, when the guy who did it moves on to a different team, they say, hey, stand-up guy. This was 2 years ago, and we have forgotten because our attention spans are so small. And now they get Connor Bedard with a first-round pick they should have lost 2 years ago. And the only reason it's a big deal tonight and it wasn't a big deal yesterday is because it actually happened. And look at the trending. Look at the trending. TJM, what's going on? Thanks for the follow. I don't know why that's right in the middle. It should be over here. This is the most egregious, literally the most egregious thing the NHL has ever done. Or didn't do. I can't even give them credit for doing something because they did F.A. I was actually cheering for my division rivals in the San Jose Sharks and the Anaheim Mighty Ducks because I thought, you know what? It'd be fun hockey to watch those guys with Connor Bedard. Instead, they looked the other way and found Connor Bedard. The NHL the draft. And the stupid thing is like, what do? They didn't do anything about it, and now Connor Bedard the Connor Bedard pick belongs to the Chicago Blackhawks. John, I'm gonna say with absolute all due respect, because I've seen you in other chats, I've seen you in I know you're respectful of the community. I'm sure you're a fan, a lifelong fan of the Chicago Blackhawks. But this is really not the time or the chat to be tooting the horn. Respectfully. I'm not gonna crap on you. I'm not gonna. But by saying you're happy, it feels like you're looking the other way too. And I get the idea of nostalgia. I get the idea of you've invested probably decades into a team that made a horrible mistake. Hawks, I don't think that happens. I don't think that happens. Because then the team after you drafts Bedard. And if you've proven that you don't have morals, you're not going to not draft Connor Bedard in this situation. Like I said, John, it is with the utmost due respect. The NHL messed this up by not doing anything. The worst thing they could have done is nothing. And they did the worst thing, and legitimately, the worst franchise won the lottery, which the irony is amazing. Because it's not supposed to be the worst franchise. It's supposed to be the statistically worst franchise. Well, and the fact that, like, in the press conferences where they tried to address it, the media tried to address it, and he says, hello, little crash. He says, we're not looking backwards, we're looking forward. You have to have some accountability for how you got here. I'm sorry. But this was the absolute worst case scenario. I don't like the Vancouver Canucks. I would have been happier with the Vancouver Canucks getting the first overall pick tonight. They're legitimately my least favorite franchise on the ice. How do you not do anything? They had the second overall pick. Guys, we're not looking back. We're not looking backwards. We're now looking forward to drafting Connor Bedard, who's the future, and will clean up the history. And I don't know why I'm waxing on, waxing off. Double Nation. During the Stanley Cup runs of the Chicago Blackhawks in the early 2010s, we found out 2 years ago that one of their video coach was sexually abusing one of their rookies and basically put the position of it's not a child. The guy was, I don't mean to discount anything Kyle Beach has been through. He's not a child. But you basically can't play in the NHL until you're 18. So he was an adult. But it was covered up. A young man, I'll take that, Hawks. Thank you very much. It was covered up by the Chicago Blackhawks for almost a decade. When it came out, people lost their jobs within the franchise. The league said they're not going to get involved. The NHL, the parent company of the Chicago Blackhawks, said they were not going to get involved. It was a Chicago Blackhawks matter and not an NHL matter. The Chicago Blackhawks fired the staff that was still around. There's been no reconciliation. As far as I'm concerned or understand, there has been no formal apology from the Chicago Blackhawks to Kyle Beach. There's been no support to Kyle Beach as far as mental or physical from the Blackhawks or the NHL. When confronted by the media in Chicago, the Chicago Blackhawks had a, hey, we're not looking backwards, we're looking forward. We're not looking back at what happened, we are moving forward. And as you see in this tweet, hockey related. Arizona held pre-draft workouts and lost a first overall pick. Hockey related. New Jersey signed Ilya Kovalchuk to a contract that was legal at the time, but was circumvention. They lost their first round pick. Hockey related. Criminal. Morally wrong. Gross negligence. Not hockey related. First overall pick. And as I said, to my knowledge, no accountability from both the Chicago Blackhawks. No, the right move would have been for the NHL to fold the franchise. Wouldn't have been enough. At the very least, financial and hockey-related fines. At the very least. You know what this is called, kids? You know what this is called right here? Precedence. You had people putting a black eye on your sport, and you punished them. Connor Bedard. But here, okay, so Connor Bedard says if he pulls a Lindros, which to those of you who are not old enough to understand a Lindros, tell the team, if you draft me, I am not playing for you. Eric Lindros did that in the early 90s with the Quebec Nordique. The Quebec Nordique were in a position, forced into a position, to trade Eric Lindros to the Philadelphia Flyers. Eric Lindros had an amazing career, short. Oh, 100%, John. 100%. They're not going to do it. The Clippers' ex-owner had his franchise forcibly sold. Forcibly sold for being a racist. It is not necessarily illegal in most states and provinces to be racist. It is illegal to sexually assault somebody. I don't understand it. Any other season, any other franchise, any other situation, this would be a mute subject, and we could move on and be excited for the Connor Bedard era of NHL. Oh, broken wheelchair wasn't illegal, but it was morally wrong. They decided to look the other way. The franchise decided to look the other way. The NHL decided to look the other way. And now they have made Connor Bedard turn into a villain. You have made hockey's sweetheart. Everybody was looking forward to Connor Bedard playing in the NHL. If Connor Bedard takes one shift with the Chicago Blackhawks, which he should, Connor Bedard should be excited that he's playing in the NHL finally. Connor Bedard is now public enemy number 1. If he plays one shift, I am not going to sit here and tell Connor Bedard morally what he should do. The kid earned a spot in the NHL. But holy crap. And I'm being less spicy because my son's in chat. Oh, if you're broken wheelchair, if you're talking about the Clippers, it was forcibly, he was told he has to sell his franchise. The NBA did not want anything to do with him anymore. Can't wait for Chicago to waste Bedard's career. The franchise deserves nothing but heartbreaking losses forever. Okay. I will say, you cannot take away what has happened. What happened nearly a decade ago, over a decade ago. You can't take that away. But theoretically, if you did. Oh, the Commanders, yeah, that's another. The Chicago Blackhawks have made moves to correct on-ice performance. Oh, Bama, that's exactly what everybody's hoping for, but that is the only... That's not even a good scenario because this draft... No, John, no. Again, respectfully, no. Because if... Okay. I'm gonna go main screen here. I don't know why. I just felt, you know what, we've looked at that tweet enough. We've referenced that tweet enough. What happened a decade ago has not been rectified. It has not been addressed. It has not been touched with a 10-foot pole. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be... There needs to be closure for not only... I can't imagine what Kyle Beach is going through tonight. We just said they're turning Connor Bedard into the biggest heel in hockey if he plays one shift. If he takes one face-off for their team. Connor Bedard will go from NHL or hockey's sweetheart to public enemy number 1 with one puck drop. If Connor Bedard sits out and says, I am not going to play for the Chicago Blackhawks, if he takes a stand, guess what? Chicago still wins. Because of Fantilli, because of Mishkov, there's a big four. Who am I missing? They still win. I don't care who got the pick if it wasn't for Chicago. But just absolutely, tonight could have not have gone worse. They shouldn't have had this pick. Even if they traded it, they still win. Emily, 100%. You're not wrong. Not wrong. This is a smaller black eye on the NHL than the black eye the NHL gave itself 2 years ago by not doing anything. Let's just sweep it under the rug. It'll go away. Guess what? It's back. And it's what people are going to be talking about for the next week. And then we're going to forget about it. And then he's going to put the jersey on at the draft. And we're going to, they shouldn't have it. And then we're going to forget about it. I'm the same. I honestly could have cared less earlier today where he went. Didn't even think about the whole Chicago scenario. I'm missing the, I just noticed this. Oh, 100%. The league gets Connor Bedard. Connor Bedard. I really feel for Connor Bedard tonight. Like, he could have hated the Anaheim Mighty Ducks for whatever reason. Could have absolutely despised the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. And I'm sure he would have preferred. Daz, what's going on? Right? That's twice in a row that they missed. Honestly, I probably would have been almost this pissed off. Even if Chicago got second. Columbus, yeah, I kind of feel bad for. I feel bad for San Jose. This is absolutely the grossest situation. And Eli Manning, there you go. There's another great reference. Oh, Columbus. So when they went to the commercial and Weeks, I wasn't sure if I heard that correctly or not. But I'm glad that you brought that up. This is one of the worst situations, and the NHL will just be like, hey, it happened 2 years ago, and it happened 10 years ago, and we're moving forward. Connor Bedard's going to be in the NHL. Yeah, heading into commercial, Kevin Weeks said that there you have it. Columbus drops down to 3 when they were still hadn't uncovered the top 3 picks. Now, I started this whole rant talking about at about 7 years old, collecting sticker books. Scott, what's going on? Thanks for the follow. Boys, we're very close to 1,500, by the way. If you haven't hit that follow button, you would make me feel a lot happier than I did before I hit go live tonight. We're 2 away from 1,500. Holy crap. There's one. The next one is 1,500. You're Scott, and you think somewhere Kyle Beach is fully depressed. Well, the fact that he has to deal with it again. Listen, the best case scenario for Kyle Beach is nobody talks about it. That's not the best case scenario. The second best case scenario. Hawks with 100 biddies. Look at you. Oh yeah, the NHL knows way better than we do. The NHL is the WWE of real sports. Jimmy Bimmy 6969. Nice Nice, boys. We hit 1,500. Holy crap. We hit 1,500 tonight. How the hell did we do that? Because of the stupid Chicago Blackhawks. I think they go Michkov. I don't think Michkov gets drafted in the top 3. Yeah, thanks, Hawks. I was talking about being 7 years old and collecting sticker books and being really excited about this thing that I discovered about the NHL. And really getting interested in a sport, and I've been a fan of the sport ever since. No, he has not. Broken wheelchair. You know what? Remind me. I've got an update on second turnbuckle, and it's slightly good news. Thank you, Hawks. Yeah, we talked about the New Jersey situation as well. I am 42 years old. At 7 years old, I got the bug. I caught the NHL bug, and this is the absolute worst night that I've experienced with the NHL. Bertuzzi, work stoppages, taxi rides, you name it. Tonight is... I can't even say that. Tonight is the culmination? Tonight is... I'll get it right, don't worry. Tonight is the finish line to one of the worst situations. Culmination. I'm probably even saying it wrong still. I'm not even shafted as a fan. I'm shafted as somebody who loves this sport. The NHL has gotten me through a lot of great things. The NHL has disappointed me many times. I reference a 1993 stick illegal curve check that absolutely ruined my day. Tonight is an absolute tragedy as far as the NHL is concerned, and I can't imagine the NHL does anything about it tonight, tomorrow, this week. It just moves on. It's just a well-oiled machine. The rich get richer. Ticket prices go up. Jersey prices go up. And we're left here feeling absolutely empty as fans. I feel like at this point, anything past here... Why didn't text-to-speech work? I'll refund that, Hawks. Or if, let me jump in here and I'll refund that for you. I don't know why that didn't work. Anything I talk about this situation going forward, I believe will just be redundant. You'll see it on Twitter. We've talked about... We even brought Tom Brady into the situation. We've talked about New Jersey. We've talked about... yeah. I don't know where else to go with this situation. Other than... Yeah, it'll be forgotten in... It won't even be 10 months. It'll be forgotten 2 weeks from now. Maybe even 2 days from now. We'll be reminded of it again at the draft. And then we'll forget about it again, and then he'll take his first shift, and then we'll be reminded about it again. And then we'll forget about it. Yeah. It is disappointing. It is very disappointing. I don't know how else to put it. Where is... is. I'll get it back to you, Hawks. I don't even know. I'm just absolutely heartbroken for hockey and the thing I hate. I'm just, for some reason, I'm reminded of riding in cars with comedians. Norm Macdonald, rest in peace, absolute legend, was on the show, and he's talking to Seinfeld there, and they were talking about the Bill Cosby situation. I can't remember who he was talking to, but somebody was talking to Norm Macdonald about it, and he goes, you know what the worst thing about it is? The hypocrisy. The worst thing about it is we're going to forget about it. We as fans, we as humans, it's just in our nature to give it 2 minutes, 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks, and we forget about things. And this truly is something that we should never forget about, because I don't buy into the rigged. I don't buy into the rigged sentiment. I think that they go through enough checks and balances to make sure that everything is on the up and up. I don't buy into they rigged it. I don't buy into it should have been one way. I should be in just chatting or NHL. We spent half an hour complaining about NHL in the Major League Baseball directory. I don't buy into the draft is rigged mentality. Because that is a whole different lawsuit waiting to happen, as if anybody can prove that it is. Fan bases would be able to sue. Teams would be able to sue. That would be fraud on the highest level. Emily, you're not wrong too. There's always arguments on both sides of the table. Oh, and John, 100%. That's why when you and I, when you said you're happy, I get why you're happy. I'm happy for you as a fan. I'm not happy that you've chosen such a shitty team to support. But everybody we're on this spinning rock, and until we get off of it, one way or another, you got to do whatever makes it more fun, I guess. I sold my Patrick Kane jersey days after I found out that he looked the other way. I had an amazing amount of respect for Jonathan Toews until I didn't. Anyways, I feel gross for even giving them as much time as I have on my dinky little stream. I appreciate all you guys, boys.